Hello, welcome. My name is Tracy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Central Victoria, Australia. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I'm up to my very last card. It is a very quick and simple card, and you could pop this together really quickly if you are still short for Christmas cards. Now, I really love the colour combo of this one. It's all greens, and it's just a nice, simple card. So for the card, we need the following supplies. I have the Rustic Retreat stamp set. This is a $1 Million Achiever stamp set, and we're using the sprigs here as well as the sentiment, sending warm Christmas wishes. I absolutely love this set, and the great thing is this one's also good for not just Christmas. There's some birthday sentiments, really masculine sort of themed stamps there as well. So a really great set to have all year round. I have the layering circle dies, and I'm using the fourth smallest. So this one here, it's the second one in. Using the rectangle stitched dies, I'm using the largest in that one, so that one there. We have the Toil Tidings glitter enamel dots, love these ones. And I've also got the silver metallic edge ribbon. This one's in the Annual Catalogue, not in the Holiday Catalogue. And it's a really great one to have in your stash because you can change the white in the centre with your stamping blends to change to any colour that you need. Let's go on with the colour palette. We have Garden Green, Granny Apple Green and Pear Pizzazz. I'm also using the Versamark ink and the Stampin' Up silver embossing powder. Before I get too much further in, I just want to apologise for my noise. I'm a little bit nasally. It's very allergy season here at the moment, and I'm a little bit congested from that. So I've tried my best to try and get rid of it all, but yeah, it's really bad at the moment. So I just have to keep going through it. So bringing my card set in, it's a pretty easy card set, but all the measurements and supplies can be found over my blog. There's a link to that blog post in the description of this video. There's also a link to my online store. If you live in Australia and you would like to purchase Stampin' Up supplies to make this card or to make any other card or project, you can do so in my online store. Pop in the monthly hostess code. Not only will I send you out a card or a project in the mail, I'll also send you via email a bundle tutorial. Now each bundle is usually over 50 tutorials, so the colour photos, directions, all the supplies needed and the measurements are all included in each tutorial. So it's a really great bargain, and for every $50 you spend in a transaction, you'll earn yourself an Inky Rewards stamp. Now collect 10, you'll get some free product, which is absolutely fantastic. We are working with the thick Whisper White cardstock. So I have the card base here in the thick Whisper White. It's a half a piece of A4 that's been cut in half and then scored in half, and I'm just going to burnish on that score line. Now if you're making card bases in Whisper White, I highly suggest using the thick Whisper White. It is so much better quality and your cards just look so much nicer. Also have, this measures actually the same as the front of the card, but you really only need enough to cut out this die. So you could get away with a piece of thick Whisper White cardstock at 5 3/4 by 4 inches. So this will actually cut off with a little bit extra, but I'll leave that piece there to do a sentiment later on in another card. So it's not that big of a deal. And we also have a piece of Garden Green cardstock as well. This can be cut down for our sentiment here as well. So let's bring in the big shot and we'll get started with making this card. So I hope everyone's all ready for Christmas. You're not running around trying to still you're not all still running around buying presents. There's nothing worse than doing everything last minute. And it's just not the nicest time to be out in the shops at the moment either. So hopefully everyone is at home relaxing with family and friends. So I'm just going to run this one quickly through. cut out perfectly. So just that one that we just cut out, I'm going to pop back through and we're going to die cut that circle die. So I'm just going to pop that right in the middle and run that through really quickly as well. So we're left with all our pieces. Let's just work on this one here with the sprigs. So I'm going to bring in the sprig stamp here, and what we're going to do is we're just going to work going around and making that wreath. So I'm starting off with the granny apple green. I like to start with my lightest colours first and then work my way through. So I'm just going to stick a piece of scrap paper underneath so I don't get my ink everywhere on the grid paper. It gets confusing for people when they can see all the ink everywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 4 of these, and I'm just creating opposite sides of stamping. So we've just stamped on opposite sides, 4 in the middle. We're finished with that one. I'm going to move on to the Pear Pizzazz. And I'm not going to clean my stamp, I'm just going to stamp that one off, move on to the next colour of Pear Pizzazz, and I'm just going to stamp right along beside the granny apple green. Okay. Which gives us that little bit of room for our garden green. Super quick and easy card to make. And there we have our wreath. Doesn't that look great? Beautiful. While we have the garden green out, I'm also going to bring in that little circle and the sentiment that says, sending warm Christmas wishes. And we're just going to ink that up in the middle of that circle. Great. We're finished with the garden green. I am going to bring in just my chamois to clean that sentiment stamp. So I'm going to stamp now with the Versamark ink. So I have a small strip of the garden green. And we only want to stamp the word Christmas, so you're going to have to make sure the Christmas is this piece here, so now it's this part of the stamp here. I'm going to try and center that in the middle there. Bringing the silver embossing powder in. Heat that with the heat tool. I didn't get that the straightest on that, but that's okay. I'm going to bring my scissors in and we're just going to cut this down a little bit. So we're going to do our banner cuts on the ends, so I need a little bit extra there. And then I'm just going to try and cut this down a little. So that's really quite easy to do, especially with the longer scissors. I'm just going to banner cut the ends, and these snips are terrible. They've got a lot of glue on them, so I need to clean them off. They're getting stuck. Okay, so we've got all our pieces. Let's get rid of some of this junk and we'll start popping it all together. We're popping up our rectangle piece, so I can pop some dimensionals on the back of this first. It might be a bit of an overkill, but I don't like things to sag. Cards to sag either in the mail or once you've given them to the person. If you don't like using quite so many, you can also cut your dimensionals in half. That works as well. Popping that down, we're just going to centre it like that. I'm going to pop some Tombow glue on the back of this, and it's just going to go sit right in that middle where we've cut it from. So it looks great how it sort of popped up on the top. Now our little sentiment piece, we're going to stick some dimensionals on the middle here. I'm just going to use the edges of the dimensionals, the bones. A little bit big. Chop that down a little. I'm just going to pop that over the edge there. Beautiful. Okay, so let's do our little bow with the silver metallic edge ribbon. Like I said before, you can colour this ribbon in with your stamping blends to go in any colour you wish for your card, which is really, really great. I love that we have a white ribbon that we can colour with the blends, because there's not colours for every single Stampin' Up colour. There's not ribbons for every single Stampin' Up colour in the catalogue, so I love that you can do this if you need. It's pretty good. Chop the end off. We're going to need a glue dot just to pop that ribbon down. Been making some Christmas cards and using some retired ribbon here. I'm just going to pop that down on the edge. And how gorgeous are these glittered enamel dots? Real red and garden green we've got here. So I'm going to do a small one down here with a medium. And another medium just inside that little circle. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed today's card. It is a very quick and simple last minute Christmas card if you're in need of one. This is also the last one for Christmas in the series, so I really hope that you've enjoyed all my Christmas cards. I will actually be back on Thursday, so Boxing Day, so I hope you can join me then. I've got a card that's actually geared up for New Year's, so I hope you can join me. If you're a little bit bored in this holiday season, I'm still going to be here, so I hope that you can join me as well. Okay, until next time, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye bye.